Okay, we organized everything. We have a lot more colorful timeline, and we also parented everything. Now we're just ready to animate our character. So for this character, let's work with the foot first. So I'm going to hit Control R on my keyboard and just decide where my floor is. So my 2 foot can move on one floor. Hit Control R, I'm going to just put it here. All right. So after I've decided my floor, let's also make a solid layer. Control Y. Let's make like a dark color so everything stands out. Maybe that's too dark. Control Y again. Let's choose something like that. All right, bring that below everything else. Okay, let's lock our solid layer. We don't want that to move. Now our character is more clear. So let's grab the foot layers, L foot and L right foot. So let's remove the visibility for all of the layers first. We need L foot and R foot. There we go. We brought back strap as well. So on these 2 layers, let's hit P for position. Zoom in. And we want to decide, also bring her body. We want to decide the starting point of this cycle. So for our foot, we're going to decide, assume that's the first leg she moves forward. So based on the body, we want to just bring it in a couple frames forward. And as for the L foot, which is the back leg, we want to move it backwards. Again, look at the body. You don't want to open it too much. Just a little bit. She's walking at a normal speed. All right, so this is our starting point. And now we can go ahead and bring in the rest of the legs. So lower left leg, upper left leg. Let's work with this one first. Hit R on upper left leg. Because the lower left leg is connected to the upper left leg, we can do this a lot more simply. So just rotate this, and remember the back leg bends when you move it that way. So after you're done with the upper left leg, go to lower left leg, hit R for rotation. Oops, that's the foot. And just kind of bend it. So we don't want a straight leg, and then you can go back to this leg and fix up a few things. You can move the hip down if you want. We do need to do that. So go on hip, hit P on hip, and just bring it down. Again, because everything is connected, we just simply need to move the hip. I think we need to bring our foot a little bit closer. And it's just a matter of going over each of the layers, making sure that everything makes sense. So now our left leg is okay. Let's work with our right leg. So hit M on the left leg layers, go to the upper R leg, bring the visibility back, hit R for rotation, and then move it forward like so. The front leg is always straight, so we don't need to bend this. This one's straight. Back leg is what's bending. Okay, so I think we do need to move the back leg a little bit back. So hit P on L foot, bring this dude a little backwards. Get upper leg, hit R, rotate it like so. Go to the other leg, lower leg, and just bend that. We bring this back like so. Need to move the hip down even more. Okay, that's better. So now this is our starting point. This is where she's going to continuously move. So we're done with the foot. Hit M on them. All the layers. Okay. Okay, so now let's work with the shoes. Go on left foot. We want to make a keyframe for the beginning. Let's trim our workspace. Zoom in. So one keyframe at where it is. Come in halfway. We want to make this dude go to the front. So just go on the x-axis and kind of go to where the right leg is. And then we want this dude to just go back to where it was. So now the left leg is just moving forward, coming back. Simple movement. I'm going to do the same exact thing with the R foot. Go in the beginning, make a keyframe, come into this guy. Let's hit this to go to the next keyframe so we get the exact time. And we're going to bring this back to the center, to the back, and then moving forward, then bring it forward. So these two are just switching places as they go. Just like so. The speed is a little fast, so let's expand our work. Move in these last keyframes at 2 seconds. Bring the middle ones to the middle so we can have a less dramatic movement. So it's just really slow for now. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to zoom out of my timeline. And then as you take steps, your back foot rises so you can take a step forward. If you were to just walk like this, you wouldn't really travel that far, would you? So halfway through here, in between the first two keyframes, so 0. Before these, we were at 0, 1, 2. Now at 0.15 frames, we're going to go to L foot, and we're going to first go to the right foot. Go to right foot and then get your Y axis and just rise this upwards like that. So now the right foot is going to jump up like so when it's walking. And then here we're just going to make another normal keyframe. Now for the other leg, the left leg, we want to do the exact opposite. So go to this keyframe. Here, the left leg, we're just going to make a normal keyframe. Nothing going on. So while the right foot is up, the left foot is down. But when the right foot is down, so hit this to go to the next keyframe, we want the left foot to go up. So let's have a look and try to get a similar curve. You see, I think this is where the curve was. 384.5. Let's add the same thing since we're going to the same part. See, we were at 380. 384.5. So they go up at the same rate. Now these two are just exchanging places together and they're just walking. Okay. And I think we are doing the opposite. So let's select all keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, time reverse. And then time reverse this too. Okay, now she's walking forward. It's better. Now let's go to the curves. You can see we have a curved line here, and we're going to go on the exact keyframe that the curve is happening at. So for right foot, I believe it was this guy. Let's have a look. Okay, no, we moved it here. So right here where the foot is up, you can go on this to make it perfect. Get your pen tool, right? Hold long click and get the convert vertex tool. Click once on this so we don't have that curve. And instead the foot is just rising up and then going down, which is the same case with how normal people walk. We don't make a circle when we move our leg up, so just do the same thing with both of the legs. So like this one, hit that once, so we get a triangle instead of that half circle that we had. She's just forming a triangle with both her legs, and she's just walking. We're done with the feet. That was the most important part. Now all we have to do is to match the legs with the foot. So let's work with our foot first. So remove left leg so it's less confusing. Get our foot and open up upper right leg. We're going to hit R on upper right leg and just turn on the keyframe because this is the first position. Move to the next keyframe, hit this, and here we just need to match this with that. So it goes here, match it up, and then next keyframe, it goes back. Just bring it backwards. And also when you bring it back, you want to make sure that your lower right leg, hit R, this, is also, let's turn on the keyframe, it's also bending. All right. And then come to the beginning and just refix the original leg movements, which I believe was 0. Just type in 0. And then come to the next keyframe, hit this. And we just want 0 on this too. We don't want it to move until it comes to the end. All right, then we have the leaping movement. So move forward to that keyframe. Go to upper right leg, first position the movement. And then we want to go on lower right leg and keep it somewhat bended, but not too much. So just keep it that way. Don't worry if it's too long. We're going to work with the hip later. Go one keyframe to the last keyframe essentially. Upper right leg goes on there. And just remove the bending from the leg. The lower right leg. Match that there. Okay, so now this leg is following the foot wherever it goes, just like so. And now we need to do the same thing with the other foot, other leg. Select all these three, hit M, let's remove the visibility, and bring back the left foot. Let's go in the beginning, hit R on both of these, turn on the stopwatch, go to the next keyframe on foot, and just do what we did with the right leg. So just bring that back, somewhat bended. Okay. And also make a keyframe for this one. Move to the next keyframe. Bring upper right leg like so. Remember, front leg stays straight no matter what. So make that straight. Next keyframe, it goes backwards. And it stays straight. Make a keyframe for lower right leg. Finally, it goes back to being bent. So it goes there. Bend that. Go back to upper right leg. And just fix that. Try to get it to match the foot. We're going to bend the foot later, don't worry. So now we have this guy following the leg as well. Let's bring in the timeline. And bring the upper right leg as well. So we get to see how these two correspond with one another. So it's just walking continuously. We bring it here so it's looping. So she's just walking right now. We just need her hip to follow the movement. And that way we can make it look like her foot is actually rising from the floor and it's not just sticking on the bottom. And then finally we can just fix the arms, make them move forward and backwards. And of course bend the foot, because when you're taking a step, your back step, your heel is not touching the floor. We need to animate that with the puppet pin tool. And obviously we're going to make this a cycle because like we said, this needs to be looping. And we'll do that in the following parts. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson.